Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good day, good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Good day to you, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining from. If you can hear me and you can see me, please leave me your favorite emoji in the comment section so that I can know you're with me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Chi, thank you so much. I can see you. Thank you. Confirming I'm not the only one in this section, so I'm not speaking to myself. Thank you, Josiah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. All right. So welcome to today's 10 Analytics Masterclass. And if you're joining us today for the first time, please, I want you to drop in the comment section number 1. And if this is your second time or third time, perhaps fourth time you're joining our masterclass, please leave me a number 2 or 3 in the comment section. So today promises to be very exciting and eye-opener, and we're going to be looking into how to perform gap analysis as a newbie business analyst or project manager, okay? So let's get started. Okay. So you've been hearing about 10 Analytics, and I'm sure you're wondering, who are we? Just a moment. I'm sure you're wondering, who are we? We are a leading edutech company. We are focused on providing specialized technological skills, and we're also into comprehensive we're also into consulting services. We've been in the industry for over 5 years, building talent, opening doors for people that want to transition to tech, leading people to transition gracefully, people that have no prior experience coming from their different background. Okay, we've been able to help over 2,500 people transition to tech from the classroom into their first job in the UK. Just a moment. Okay. So we've been able to help over 2,500 people transition successfully into tech and helping them land their first job in tech across UK, US, Canada, Europe, and Asia. Africa inclusive, right? We are committed to making the technology space more accessible. A lot of people want to transition to tech, but they don't know how to get started. And that is where we at Analytics come in, okay? And we'll help you get hands-on experience on the different trainings we have, such as data analytics, business analysis, HR analytics, agile project management, Scrum, agile project management. You can become a Scrum master as well. Also have the cyber security and AI engineering. Okay, so and our team, we have team of instructors from all over the world and that have worked for global companies like Apple, Microsoft, McKinsey, Amazon. Will bring a wealth of knowledge to ensure that when you get into class, you leave with having hands-on experience that you can use to land a remote job or land a job in tech successfully, making your transition easy and smooth. Okay. All right, so you've been hearing me speak and you don't know who is speaking to you. My name is Ifoma Collins, a senior business analyst associate at 10 Analytics. I'm also a product owner and currently have my MSc in view. I have over 4 years of experience as a business analyst, and I'm passionate about digital transformation and people's development. Okay, as a business analyst, I stand as a bridge between tech and business. Okay, so because we help as business analysts, or will help businesses optimize and improve their processes, okay? And I've trained over 500 professionals across 4 continents. And my experience spans from sectors like health tech, IT, edtech, and where I've applied deep knowledge and agile methodologies. All right. Um, so you've met me. I would like to also meet the people in the session with me. I want you to drop your name and which location you're joining me from. All right. So I'm not on the session alone. With me on the call, I have my amazing colleague, Elizabeth Nana, a product manager and also an agile product manager, right? So at Analytics, she has over half a decade experience in product and project management. Elizabeth is skilled. She's a skilled leader, a coach for agile teams, and she has consistently showed impactful results. She has guided over 1,000 individuals without parallel experience to transition to tech and also smooth transition to project management. Okay. And her trainees are spanned across some different continents, and also she has experience in different sectors such as edutech, fintech, and healthcare. So you're looking to transition to project management or business analysis, you're in the right room with the right people. So choose 10 Analytics. All right. So you might be asking yourself, what are we doing here today? Okay, today we are going to be understanding how to carry out gap analysis, okay, and also know the pathway to becoming an agile project manager or a business analyst. And also we'll look at what you stand to gain from the growth internship program at Stern Analytics. And trust me, if you stick to the end, we'll have a special discount for you. So definitely make sure that you're sticking to the end to get this offer. All right. What is gap analysis? I'm sure you've heard it several times. Um, Gap analysis is a tool that we use to compare organizations' current states, which is also called as is, with its desired future state, which is also called to be. All right. So when you hear gap analysis, I want you to look at gap analysis like Google Map. We all know what Google Map does, right? So um, Google Map tells you where you are right now. So when you go on the Google Map right now and you open up the app, you know it's going to show you your current location. Okay. So it tells you where you are right now. And then it also tells you where you're going to. So you're able to check your destination, where you're coming from and where you're going to, right? So it shows you the best route for you to get there. All right. And so this is the gap and the solution, right? So our job in organization as a business analyst, right? You can see our job as GPS now in relation to the Google Map I just talked about, because gap analysis shows you where you are right now. It shows the organization or the business where they are right now and where they want to be. Okay, so let's look at this image here. Now, this is the business that we are working with. This is their current state. You can see that they are not happy where they are because they are going through a lot of challenge, a lot of situation, there's a lot of bottleneck and inefficiencies, right? Now, this is the gap. And as a business analyst, we are solutions architect, okay? Business analysts, we are change agents, okay? Remember that business analysis is the practice, okay, of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders within a given context, okay? So simply by saying this, we simply to say that as a business analyst, you're a change agent. You're that bridge, okay? You're that person that will come to bridge the gap between the business and technology, or you profess solution to them. Now, gap analysis answers to 3 different fundamental questions. Number 1 is, where are we? That is your current state, right? And then the second one is, where do we want to be? So what is the current performance of this organization? That is the current state. And then it's also asking that where do we want to be? This is the future state of the organization, right? And now he also asks that how do we get there? That is this gap here, right? How do we close it? What is the plan to close this gap? So as a business analyst, you get drafted on the project for you to come and, engage stakeholders, understand their pain points so that you're able to profess solution, have an action plan or a roadmap that closes this gap. All right. So now let's look at the importance of gap analysis. Okay. Gap analysis provides clarity. It moves initiatives from vague ideas to, specific measurable goals. It moves vague ideas to smart goals. Okay. So for instance, you say we need to be better. We need to be better. It is not smart. It is not measurable. Okay. So gap analysis, when you infuse gap analysis, you now have a goal that is, we need to reduce processing time from 10 days to 2 days. All right. Now, you already have a timeline, okay, to reduce the processing time from 10 days to 2 days. And this is where also the project manager comes in, right? Because the project manager manages the project, ensures all the projects are delivered on time and within the budget and within the timeline, okay? Now, also, gap analysis also helps you to identify the root cause. What is the root cause of the problem that this organization is currently going through? It helps you understand the problem and not the symptom. So it takes it granularly so that you're able to identify that this is the current challenge this organization is facing. And it also helps to carry out informed data-driven decisions, right? You're not just professing solutions without data. There is backup. Remember that data is life. So it ensures that you give out data-driven decision, and it also helps the project manager, right? So that they are able to allocate the right efforts that directly addresses the problem, the right efforts that directly addresses the problem that also bridges the gap, right? Now, it aligns stakeholders. Now, it creates a shared understanding between stakeholders, because in a project, the business analyst and the project manager can works in collaboration. It's not can work in collaboration. Okay, you can find yourself in a project where you have to align with the project manager as a business analyst to deliver value to the stakeholder. All right. Let me know if you're following by dropping your favorite emoji in the comments. Okay. All right. So techniques for gap analysis. So we have different techniques for gap analysis. And for the purpose of this masterclass, we're going to stick to the ones you can see on the screen right now. So we have the process mapping, we have the fishbone diagram, we have the SWOT analysis, and we also have benchmarking. Okay, so process mapping tool, you can use this to identify the organization or the business current states and their future states, right? It helps you to analyze to analyze inefficiencies. You're able to spot bottlenecks. You're able to see what their current workflow is, right? So that you're able to redesign it, okay? So, excuse me, you're able to redesign the current workflow. You're able to quickly see where the bottlenecks and inconsistency is coming out from. And then fishbone diagram, also called the Ishikawa diagram, right, is a structured tool for gap analysis that is used during brainstorming. As a business analyst or as a BA, as a business analyst, asking during your requirement gathering and elicitation, right? You have your other stakeholders there, and you're using the fishbone diagram, using the 5 whys framework to ask why what is the problem and why is this problem. So this helps you to understand where the root cause is, right? You're able to know where the problem is emanating from, where it isn't obvious. Then we also have the SWOT analysis too, where you're able to identify the organization's strengths, their weakness. You're also able to analyze opportunities and threats that poses as challenges to this organization. And then we'll have benchmarking, where you compare organizations to each other, to understand what the competitors are doing, right? You use this to know what their competitors are doing better, so that you can recommend this to improve the process of the current organization that you're drafted to, right? So how to choose the right gap analysis technique to use, right? So for a process problem, okay, you use process mapping and a fishbone diagram, okay? So for process mapping, so you understand they have their process is silo, they have inconsistency data, there's a lot of long wait time and challenges, right? You can use process mapping and the fishbone diagram, right? And for a strategic problem, you can use a SWOT analysis and benchmarking. And then for people on organizations problem, you can use McKinsey 7S framework. And for complex and multi-phase problems, you can combine techniques, right? With this being said, you can combine techniques to get to the root cause of the problem, to find out what is the gap and bridge it. And you can also use the different techniques depending on which problem you're trying to solve, right? And let me say this, the best analysts have a toolbox of techniques, right? You have all these techniques, and depending on what problem you're trying to solve, you're able to decipher which of these techniques that you're going to use for that problem. All right. So roles in gap analysis, right? For business analysts and agile project manager, depending on which of the role you decide to go for, right? As a business analyst, during the gap analysis, you lead workshops and interviews with stakeholders, right? To define documents, right? To analyze where they are and where they want to be. And as a project manager, okay, you ensure that the BA and the team, like the whole stakeholders, your job as a project manager during the gap analysis is that you ensure that the whole stakeholders have the time, the space, and the resources to deliver, right? You ensure that they have access to the right stakeholders. As a business analyst, you need to engage maybe the C-suite guys, and you're unable to get access to them. So the project manager is the one that will reach out to them and make that possible. You need to work with a specific tool, or there's a budget, there's a tool that you need to, your team needs to acquire. Project manager will make sure that this is available to you. Now, you analyze the different, as a business analyst, you analyze the different states. So you identify the pain point of the organization. Why, as the project manager, you remove the impediments, you shield the team from distraction, right? So you follow through if any stakeholder is not delivering on time on their deliverables. As a project manager, you follow up with them, right? And then as a business analyst, you translate these identified gaps into business, detailed business and solution requirements. So that means you translate these requirements to user stories and features. This will guide the dev team to build the accurate feature. Why, as the project manager, you help the team to prioritize the gap, right? So during the requirement gathering or sprint planning, you're there as the PM to make sure that the features are prioritized, meaning that we're building the right feature that has the right prioritization, right? And not building the wrong thing that will lead to rework, right? As a BA, you own the what and the why. You define the problem and what the solution must do, right? Like I said before, as a BA, you are a change agent and a solutions architect. And as a PM, you're the owner of the how and the when, right? You facilitate processes, you allow the BA and the team analyze effectively, and then ensure that they execute the plan and close the gap on time and within budgets. So as a PM, you ensure that projects are delivered within budgets. Now, to further buttress on gap analysis, let's take a look at this case study. So the case study is around Café de Sucre, right? A trendy local coffee shop known for their high quality coffee and cozy atmosphere. However, its popularity, right? They have become so popular. You know, when you start a business, you want to grow big. Now, for Café de Sucre, they have grown big. Now it's now posing as a problem to them instead of a blessing. Now they have their biggest challenge is that during their peak hours, the cafe is in chaos because there's a lot of customer and they cannot attend to these customers. Okay. Now, some of the challenges identified are long queue. So the customers wait for 10 to 15 minutes just to order. This is not even to receive their order, just to place an order. Now, the staff are frustrated, right? The barista is frustrated because he's overwhelmed. He's juggling taking order, payment processing, drink making, and he's multitasking, and this is a lot. This has led to human error, and the rate has skyrocketed up to 15%, right? And when staffs are not motivated, they cannot deliver efficiently, and their reputation is declining. Their online rating is in shambles, right? Customers are threatening the cafe's high-end reputation, and they've lost revenue. Their potential customer sees a long line and they walk out, right? They are not making as much sales as they used to make. Now, the founders have, known this problem. They've identified this challenge and know that it is bad for them. But the problem is that they don't know how to fix it. They've hired you. Yes, I'm talking to you on this call. They've hired you as a business analyst to come and identify the problem. They've also hired you as an agile project manager to ensure that this project is delivered successfully within their budget and within their timeline. Okay. Now, what will you do? Now, this problem does not only revolve around Café de Sucre. There's a lot of organizations out there that have these same process problems, and they are looking for business analysts, agile project manager to come and make sure that their process are improved so that they can retain customer and then also make more profit and remain in business. All right. So as a business analyst or as an agile project manager on this call, what should be Café de Sucre's goal? You're a business analyst, you've been drafted on this project. I would like to get your response. Put it in the comments section, okay? What should Café de Sucre's goal be? Is it A, become the cheapest cafe in town? Is it B, become the average customer? B, reduce average wait time from 10 minutes to 3 minutes? Or is it C, offer 50 new pastry options? Yeah, I need to give me more response. I see your response. Chinwe says B. Olohi says B. iPhone says B. Ezekiel says B. Okay. Please, I need more response. Okay, thank you. I see your responses. Yeah. So if you said B, you would have answered correctly, right? Yes. If you said B, you answered correctly because now they've identified their challenge. So it's not about being the cheapest coffee in town. If you become the cheapest coffee in town and your long wait time is not favorable, customers will still leave. If you offer 50 pastries, the annoying part is that you will not even get customers to come and collect the pastries. So B is the right option. So let's look at their current state and identify the gap. Okay. So the current state is that 10 minutes wait time, and the future state they aim to have 3 minutes wait time, and the gap is that 7 minutes delay. That's a long wait time, right? Now, their future state is that they want to have zero order mistake. Remember, because of the barista is multitasking, is causing a lot of human error. Okay, and the gap here is 15% error rate. We already talked about this. And what will happen in the future state after you have carried out your gap analysis and you profess the solution to them is that they will have happy customers, efficient staff, and then the current state right now is that the customers are not happy, staff are stressed, they have low morale, and they have no training. All right. Now, So the objective for this is we're going to perform a gap analysis, right? So that we understand the root cause of the issue, define a future state, and this way we'll be able to profess solution, right? So we just talked about this. So let me take you to um, a process mapping tool that we are going to be using today, and it's called draw.io. So if you're still with me, I want you to drop ice cream in the comment section. All right, just a moment. I'm going to stop sharing this now, and then we go to draw.io. Thank you, Chiwe. Thank you. So once you can see my screen, um, all right. Just a moment. All right. So let me know if you can see my screen now. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you. So this is Café de Sucre current state, right? So remember we said that current state is as is. How is their process right now? So I'm going to quickly run us through this. Their current process is that the customer, this is a process mapping tool and it's called draw.io. Okay. So the customer gets into the cafe, customer enters, and after the customer enters, customer queues on a single long queue for like 10 to 15 minutes. Barista takes the order. After the barista takes the order, barista calculates the total mentally on a calculator, right? This is one of the bottleneck, right? No, this is the second bottleneck. And the barista processes the payments, either cash or with card, and customer pays, right? Barista places paper ticket in a queue for making. So the order goes to a queue, right? Now, barista remembers to make the drink. Now, this is a decision point. Now, this is asking a question. So does the barista remember because of the a lot of things on his plate, right? He's the one taking order, he's the one making the coffee, is the one also taking payment. You know, this can lead to him to forget, and there's a lot of queue. So now this process here is asking a question. Does the barista remember to make the drink? So if he remembers to make the drink, right, he makes the drink, calls out the customer's name manually, right? Calls out the customer name. Sarah, your coffee is ready. Okay, customer goes, collects the drink, and customer leaves. This is one of the process, right? Now, if the barista forgets to make the drink, okay, now the the drink is forgotten, right? Customer checks the time and is over 15 minutes, goes to the barista and inquire for their drink. Now the barista apologizes and says, you know, because of the too much work, they will not even know how to comport themselves. They'll just, oh my God, I forgot to make your coffee. I'm sorry, give me some time. And they apologize. And barista rushes, right? He apologizes, rushes to make the drink. And this is more increased time, right? Now the drink is ready. The barista calls out the customer name and customer collects the drink and leaves angrily, right? This process end. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were the customer, will you go back here to buy coffee? Please give me your response in the comment section. No, of course. Because, okay, there's a lot of bottleneck in this process. The customer enters, there's long queue, okay? Now, they take orders on paper. This can cause a lot of mistakes. The barrister calculates manually. Mistakes can also come from here because of pressure. You can see there's a lot of bottleneck. iPhone says, no way, I understand. I will not even go back myself, right? Because you want to go to where you get services on time, right? You want to go to where you're spending your money and you're getting value for your money. So I won't go back myself. So this is the current process, right? Okay, so now as a business analyst, right, you're drafted now to come and improve this process. Okay. Alongside the agile project manager on the project, you will engage stakeholders, understand the pain points. You speak to customers, you speak to the business owners as well. You speak to the staff. You engage every stakeholder to understand what the future will look like for Café de Sucre, right? So after this, we go on to look at their future states. Okay, so let's quickly draft their future state. Okay, so first thing we are going to do is we give this a title. Okay, so if you're following me, please put I am following in the comments. Okay, so we take out this shape just to give it a title. We say Café de Sucre um, to be future state. Okay, future state process. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to extend this so that it's very visible. So the next thing we will do is, so for the as each state, okay, we used a flow chart, but for this we're going to use a swim lane. Okay, so the swim lane we give every stakeholder. It will represent the process of every stakeholder on this process. Okay, so this is a swim lane diagram. All right, so I'm just going to extend this. Now we're going to name this here. Okay, let's even leave this. Now we have the customer, so you name the customer, and then which other stakeholder do we have? We have the um, cashier, right? So remember they were collecting payments manually. So as a business analyst, you've engaged stakeholders and they've told you that for this process for them to come back and continue patronizing Café de Sucre, they want to have like an automation in place, right? So we also have this line for POS terminal, okay? So as a business analyst, you need to have critical thinking and analytical skills. So as they're telling you what their current process is, you're already thinking in your head ways to improve this process, right? So let's start with the customer, okay? So remember that, let's go back to general. So to start the process, you use the ellipse shape, all right? So I'm going to reduce this. So the ellipse is for start and end. You use this to start and end the process. So I'm going to write start. So you can write start or you can just start the process, okay? So, but for the sake of this masterclass, I'm going to start it. So remember what the as this process is, the customer, right? So I'm not going to be writing customer here because we already have this section that is everything here is just going to be all the process that the customer takes, right? Customer enters, right? Okay, so let me just start the process with enter, right? So you can start it with enter or you start it with the first step the customer takes, orders and orders and pay. All right. So the next process is that after the customer pays, right, the cashier, the next process, cashier enters Now, this is their future state, right? This is your recommendation, right? This is the solution that you are professing to this business to streamline their orders, right? And that's the order into POS terminal. Okay. All right. Sorry, it's a typo. All right. So then now this order goes to the POS terminal, right? So the next thing is the POS is going to process this payments, processes payments, right? And process payments, prints kitchen tickets. All right. So we are supposed to have another role for the barista. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come here and click on this and say insert role after. Okay. Then I'll title this barista. All right. So now here, the barista takes the order. Okay. So let me know you can still see me and you can see my screen clearly. Okay. Guess an on-screen alerts of the order. Okay, so you can see that this whole process now is automated. So it gets the order, and the next thing it's going to do is the next thing he will do after he gets this order is he proceeds to make the drink following okay, following the recipe standard. All right, the recipe standard. Okay, so after making the drink, let's take another. He goes on to he places the finished drink in sorry, on the counter. Thank you, Violet, for on the counter for pickup. All right. With ticket. All right. So the next step is that remember the customer ordered and pay, right? And then after this customer orders and pay, he's not just going to stand anywhere, right? So the customer goes to a designated area for waiting. Or let's just say waiting area. All right. Okay. Now as he's waiting, right? So here his drink is ready, right? So he's going to get an automated message here. Okay, let's delete that and try that again. So he's going to get, you click on this and then you drag all the way. Yeah. So let me just pick this from here. And you can also do this drop here. So now he's going to get an automated message, right? That his drink is ready. Okay. Alerted that drink is ready with an on-screen display. So you can see that there's no need to yell his name. A customer that is already angry, you're yelling his name that your drink is ready. So he collects his drink. The next step is going to be that He collects his drink. So I'm just going to enlarge this. Okay, so I drag this back. Okay, so the next step is that collects his drink, collects his drink, and lives happily. Okay, so I can decide to even end the process here with an ellipse, right? Okay, you can also do that, but I'm just going to, end it here without adding an ellipse. But for the sake of this masterclass, let's end the process with an ellipse. So you can turn this circle shape to an ellipse by just adjusting it. Then I end the process. Process ends, okay? End process, right? So if you look at this, right? So before I go further with any explanation, it's good practice for you to color code your process. Okay, so for the start of the process, the best color to use is green. Okay, and for the end of the process, I like to use red. So and then so each actor as well, you can decide to give each actor a color. So or each stakeholder. So can you eclipse, yes, that's what I mean, eclipse. Yeah. So which color would you like me to color code any of these? You can just give me any color you like. So for the customer, any color you like. And also look at the comment section. My colleague is dropping the attendance form. Endeavor to fill it out so that you have access to the slides that we use for this masterclass. Yellow, okay. So Oma says yellow. So for the customer, we're going to use yellow for the customer. Um, sorry. In the process. And for the customer, I'm just going to color code all the customer process yellow. Can somebody give me the next color we should use for the cashier? Okay. So you can drop any color you want, and also for the barista so that we can move quickly. Okay. So for the barista, let me use this color. So it's good practice to also color code, right? Yeah. So for the POS terminal, a lot of POS have this color. Let's use this. And then what else? What else can we use here? Can use this purple. Oh, I haven't used purple. Yes, is this purple? All right, yeah. You can also go on to color, all this just to give it more life, make it pop. You can also do that. All right, so let's just do this. Okay, so let's look at this. You can see, can you tell me the difference between their future states and their current state? Can anyone quickly speak to this before we move further? Anyone? You can also drop what you feel about it in the comment section, okay? All right. So this is their current state. You can see the process, okay? And this is their future to be state. All right. So I'm just going to go back to my other slide so we can. All right. So the for Café de Sucre, right? Gap analysis at Café de Sucre successfully identified the root cause of the problem. We saw that the customers were the staff were not motivated, they were stressed. Okay. The cause of the long wait times, we're able to identify it. We're also able to identify the inefficiencies in their process because they are relied on a single employee multitasking, doing a lot. This has caused a lot of delay. And the outcome was to streamline the operation, was achieved, right? We implemented a point of sale and we introduced a specialized rule of ordering drinks. And this helped because we redesigned the whole physical workflow and then we moved it to like an automated process, right? And this directly resulted that in the reduction of the dramatic wait time from 10 minutes to, like 7 minutes. And this also canceled out human errors. So before I hand over to my colleague, you can see she's already there and looking at me. I want to ask Elizabeth, I see you. So I want to ask a question before I go, and I want you to give me a response in the comments, okay? Which of these career paths are you interested in? So is it becoming a business analyst, or are you leaning towards becoming an agile project manager? I want Chiwedu says all of them. I agree with you, Chiwedu. All of it. Yeah. So please give me more responses. Give me Okay. All right. So I hope you enjoyed the gap analysis. I hope you have a clearer understanding of how, yes, the both intertwine. Yes, the both intertwine. Yeah. A PM and BA. There's this let me leave my colleague to further buttress on this, okay? I hope you enjoyed the session with me. Continue to enjoy the rest of the section. All right, Elizabeth.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. So what I want us to do before Ifoma even turns off our camera, I want us, if you enjoyed this session, I want us to clap. Put a clapping emoji in the comments for her. Please. Please, we're not going to move forward if you don't do that. Thank you so much, Ezekiel. Thank you,
Thank you.
Millicent. Fantastic.
Thank you,
Wonderful,
Millicent.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ifoma. Okay, so you can
Thank
stop
you.
sharing your screen now. So I
All right.
I see some people are being Oliver Twist. Ifoma was asking a very interesting question just now. And she said, between the two career paths, the path of a BA and the path of a PM, which one would you prefer? And I saw people saying both of them, at some point you do have to choose. All right. But it is very important that you're able to actually, talk about or identify the differences between the both of them. And that's why I'm here tonight. Okay. So for people like Chiwendu, just calm down. All right. At least pick one first so that you can, just move forward. But I want us to actually just think off the top of your mind, right? Just pick one. If you were to go with one right now, even though you don't know, you may not necessarily know the role of a BA very well yet, or the role of a PM very well yet. But if you were to choose one right now, and someone says, close your eyes and pick one, which would you pick? I want to see whether BA or PM. Oh my goodness, the BAs are winning. I see Sylvester, BA, Ezekiel, BA, Chiwendu, BA. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Keep it coming. All right. Okay, so I know a lot of people on this call do not necessarily know, the role of the business analyst and how it is different from that of a project manager. And that's okay. I mean, that's why we're here. All right, so during the course of this session, the rest of the session, I'll be taking you through that. Now, I saw a lot of people enjoy, while Ifama was showing us her process, everybody was enjoying it. Now, because this is, there's a very limited time frame for this particular session, she was not able to go in depth and, spend a lot of time on these processes. What I want you to do, okay, if you'd like to have access to ifomasdraw.io, because it will actually be linked on this slide. What I want you to do for me is fill the attendance form. It is very important. All right, now let me explain to you how it works. I know a lot of people are joining this session for the first time. Now, every session is always recorded. And when we record this session, we also have these slides where we have a lot of wonderful resources linked on this slide for you. Portfolios, sessions, things like what Ifoma just did, like our draw.io session, the to-be process, the as-is process. If you want to have access to all of these things, all you have to do, there's a link my colleagues are dropping in the chat. Just click on that link, okay, and fill it. That's all you have to do. Simple. All right, because we need to have your email, we need to have your details so we can send across the recording as well as the slides. So it's very, very important if you're interested in having, access to the slides. All right, now let's go ahead. Let's just move on. Now, you know, before we even start to dive into the nitty-gritty, I want you to understand one thing. You know, there's this buzz around, you know, everyone is talking about how AI is probably coming over, you know, to take over some jobs. Now, how are you sure, you know, that business analysis, whether you're looking at business analysis or you're looking at project management, how are you sure that that particular career path is future proof? Now, when I say future proof, what I mean, you know, is that at least for the next 8 years, you are good. Nobody's taking that job away from you. How are you sure about that? Now, what we went ahead to do is we went online, we went to look for these forums, these, you know, educational forums that talk about these things, talk about the career path, you know, in the US, whether you're in Ireland, you're in the US, you're in the UK, you're in Nigeria, wherever it is that you are in the world and you're joining this session, you know that at least these jobs that have been highlighted in this report, you know, are future proof. And that is how we found the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Reports for 2025. Now, you don't have to take my word for it, okay? You can go online. This is available to anybody online. I also made sure to link the reports on this slide. So again, you see why it's important to fill the attendance form. So once you fill the attendance form, you get access to the slides and all these little resources, the report and everything that I have linked on the slide for you. You're able to see it. Now, the World Economic, you know, Forum, right, highlighted these two career paths we're discussing tonight. Agile project managers and as well as business analysts as jobs that are in demand. I need you to understand that for the next 8 to 10 years, you are safe, right? There's nothing like AI is coming to take over your job from you, because I'm also going to walk you through how we also infuse AI in whatever it is that you're learning so that you're not left behind. All right. As the world is evolving, you're evolving with the world. So they have introduced AI. We know that AI is trending right now. So how do we make sure that as a business analyst, you don't become old school? We also introduce AI into your curriculum. But not to worry, I'm going to walk you through what all of that is. Now, Ifama was talking about, you know, Café de Sucre and the gap analysis that had to be performed, you know, in order for them to identify the bottlenecks in their process. I want to start off by saying this. So for people who want to become business analysts, you know, I refer to business analysts as problem solvers. You solve problems. All right. You are the person, you are the big gun, right? When an organization is facing an issue, there's a problem with their processes, there's a bottleneck, they don't know what to do. You are the person that they run to come and solve that problem for them. Now, what you do is you optimize processes. You know, just the way, you know, Ifama walked us through how we can carry out the gap analysis to identify what's wrong with the current process. Because Cafe de Sucre, they are probably seeing that their customers are angry. Maybe they are leaving bad reviews online of them. You know, they're giving them 1 star. They're saying, oh, their customer service is bad. So they're trying to understand what exactly is wrong with our, you know, our process right now that, you know, is making these people say bad things about us or give us bad reviews. All right. And that is where the business analyst comes in. You come in to help, you know, companies like Café de Sucre, whether it's a big organization or a tiny organization, even your personal business. You know, I'm sure some of us on here, we have our own businesses. You know, there's certain processes that are just not working. You might not know it right now, but after this session, of course, you'll get the information that you need. Just make sure, you know, you fill the attendance form so you can have access to informasdraw.io. At your own time, you can go over it over and over again, you know, to make sure that you understand exactly how she went from, you know, the as is process, which is the current process, to the to be process. All right. Now, I want to let you know that every single business in this world, whether it's a huge organization, whatever industry that's, you know, that business is, you know, they run on decisions. Very, very important. If you don't take away anything tonight, all right, I want you to take that away. Every single business runs on decisions. All right. But then the decisions are only as good as the data and the insights behind them. Now, I'm going to explain that. When I say data, I'm sure a lot of people are scared. You don't need to be scared. Now, you know, also when Ifoma was carrying out a gap analysis, you know, when she tried to identify the as is process, in order for her to know where the problem was and then go into the to be, you know, process, that's also a form of data gathering. What she just did was, you know, let's just assume that Ifoma was, you know, she was just working on her own, or she was online, she was in her house, and then a recruiter or someone from Cafe de Sucre reached out to her to say, hi, Ifoma. They reached out to her on LinkedIn and said, I've heard a lot about your expertise. We're going through this problem in our business right now, and we don't really know what the issue is. We're trying to solve it. All right. Now, Ifoma does not just come into the organization as the business analyst and say, yes, this is what we're going to do. What does she do? She has to first observe, right? Gather data. Look at how things are currently working. What is wrong with this process? How is this process working? Let me even see what you guys are doing right now so that I can identify what you are doing wrong. Okay. So that's just an example of gathering data, gathering requirements to understand exactly how the process works. Now, in order for her to do that, you need to make smart decisions, right? You need to make smart decisions. You need to be able to understand data. Now, the problem with a lot of organizations is that they don't understand what their customers want. Okay, I'm very happy. She had a little quiz there. She was asking, Cafe de Sucre, what do you think they need? Is it A, B, or C? And I was very happy to see that a lot of people were putting in B in the chat. I think one option had, should they make their coffee cheaper? The other option had, should they give out free pastries? And then the last one had, the B had, just reduce their wait time. And a lot of people were picking B. Now, the truth is, a lot of businesses, right, do not understand what their customers need. It's not always as simple as, it is with Cafe de Sucre. Imagine a huge multinational organization, that has branches all over the world, and they are having a problem with their process. They might not necessarily understand. They don't know what their customers want. They don't know what the problem, is. They don't know what the process is, what the issues with the processes are, what processes are actually broken, or where they're leaking money. Some organizations, as time goes on, at the end of the year, they say that they're not making a lot of money. They're like, but we had a lot of customers over what's going on? They're leaking money. It's like a leaky bucket, or you're fetching water inside a basket. All right, that's an African adage, by the way. When you're putting water inside a basket, they don't understand where the money is leaking from until it's too late. And that is exactly where business analysts comes in. All right. Now, as a business analyst, I want you to see yourself as the translator. Okay. Ifoma said something very, very interesting. When she was also introducing herself, she said she's the middleman, between the business guys and the technical guys. So she's that in between. It's sort of like you see one person speaking Spanish, you see another person speaking French. How do you get them to understand themselves? You need an interpreter, right? You need someone in the middle that understands both Spanish and French. So I look to you, you speak Spanish to me, I translate it in French and send it to these other guys. Now, that's exactly what you are as a business analyst. You take the messy business needs, all the mess, everything that is going wrong in that business. You are able to take it, you are able to clean it and clarify it, and then you turn it into clear solutions that the tech team can work on. Now, if you're going into the tech sector, you turn it into clear solutions that the tech team can work on and build. So basically, you are taking that messy data they don't know what to do with. You are cleaning and clarifying it, and you are giving them something very clear and simple to start working on. All right. You are writing user stories. You are learning how to map processes. You are running workshops, interviews with end users and stakeholders and all of that. All right. Now, every single product that you use today, every single one of them. And that's something that I want you to think about. A lot of us, we have our phones, you have your laptop, you have whatever it is that you have, whatever product it is that you're using, even if it's just software products on your phone, right? Your mobile banking application, Netflix, your favorite e-commerce, website online, people like myself that like to shop a lot, every single product that you use, even these healthcare systems was shaped by a business analyst who asked the right questions. I want to know if people are actually listening to me right now. If you are listening to me, I want you to put a let's go in the chat. I want to see let's go. I want you to type let's go. Now, I need to see at least 5 if you need me to continue explaining this to you. Thank you, iPhone. Thank you, Tonga. I need to know people are listening to me. Okay, fantastic. That's a lot of people. Great. All right, then we can go ahead and continue. All right, now, every single product you use, like I was saying earlier, was shaped by a business analyst who knew the right questions to ask, right? Who knew that I need to map out the as-is process. this current process, I need to map it out. Because when I map it out, that's when I'll be able to identify what the issues are with this process. All right. And then I'll be able to capture the right requirement. Now, we can't do everything tonight. I'm sorry. But if you want to know more, you want to listen to, you want to have more time with people like Ifoma, people that have all of this experience, you need to, register for the course. All right. But before we get to that, now, the beauty of, career paths like business analysis or project management is that you don't need to code. I want you, if you can record the sound of my voice right now, quote me anywhere that I said, as a business analyst or as an agile project manager, you don't need to code. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to be a data scientist. You don't need to do anything too technical. You just need to have structured skills. All right. And that is exactly what we have for you in our business analysis program. Now, imagine what Ifoma was able to do in less than 30 minutes. She had less than 30 minutes to walk you through the as-is process and also build the to-be process with you. Now, imagine what she'll be able to do with you in 6 months. All right. That is exactly why we built this program. So you're going to be learning a lot of things. You learn tools, you learn how to use tools like Excel. All right. Like a data analyst. You learn SQL, you learn Power BI, right? You're learning Lucy Chat and Draw.io. That was the tool she used earlier, Draw.io. Now you're going to learn how to use it like a professional. You're not learning how to use it like you learn how to use it in bootcamp. No, you're learning how to use it like a professional. You're going to learn how to gather requirements. You're going to learn how to use Jira, how to use Trello, how to use Azure, how to use, Confluence. And then, like I said earlier, we're making sure that you are not left behind. You're also going to learn how you can incorporate AI in what you do. So how do you learn how to leverage AI in your role as a business analyst? I say something to everyone. All right, there's no need to be scared of AI. Okay, I want you to think of AI as your intern. Think about having a PA that you're not paying. You're not paying this PA anything, but you're able to send this PA, go and do this, go and do that, go and do this, go and do that, while you focus on the major important things. Now think of AI like that. And you're going to learn how to turn AI into your intern. So AI is doing 40% of the work. I mean, this is not time to start stressing yourself and you want to work very hard. This is the era of working smart. If AI can do 40% of your work and you do 60%, and by the time the paycheck comes, you are taking 100% of the paycheck. You don't have to pay AI, then that's a great deal in my books. All right. So you are also going to learn how you can leverage AI to, help you as a business analyst. So the things I said, again, I'm going to repeat them. You're learning Excel, Power BI, SQL, the way a data analyst would learn them, because, those are data tools. Now, there is another very beautiful thing about, business analysis that I want to mention. Business analysis is our most versatile program here at Analytics. It hurts me to say it. And I know Ifoma is probably there smiling. She's grinning. She has a huge grin on her face right now. But business analysis is the most versatile program we have here at Analytics, right? Because it has elements of data analytics in it. It has elements of, business analysis, of course, the core business analysis in there. And it also has elements of product management in it. Now, what that means is that once you complete this training, this particular training I'm talking to you about right now, you're able to work as a project manager. You're able to work as a business analyst. And you're also able to land some roles as a data analyst. That's just what it means. All right. So it's 3 in 1, really. It's 3 for the price of 1. So you're learning process mapping. How do you map out processes? How do you initiate projects like a project manager? How do you plan for projects like a project manager? What exactly is the agile methodology? What is the Scrum framework? How do you apply them to, projects that you're working on? You're learning software development lifecycle. You're learning the fundamentals of requirements. What is this requirement gathering all about? What are all the things that you need to know, to gather requirements efficiently? You're also learning how you can elicit requirements, elicitation techniques, right? Your stakeholder analysis and engagement, and finally, AI. All right. That's what you'll be learning with this particular program. Now, when it comes to the learning structure here at Analytics, we have a blended learning structure. Okay, you have a combination of live classes and then self-paced learning. So what do I mean? You have sessions just like this. You're able to see your facilitator. If I'm speaking, I'm speaking to you. I'm walking you through projects, because that's another thing that you need to know. Our learning here is project-based. So just the way Ifeoma gave you a very short, case study, a little project to take a look at, work on. So she didn't just come here to define, oh, what is gap analysis? What is project management? What is business analysis? She also just gave you a tiny project so you can see it in real time. You can see gap analysis in real time. Now you get all of that in a live class, all right? And the difference is it's more interactive than this. You're able to unmute your mic. You're able to speak, ask questions and say, I don't understand this. I'd like to get more clarity on this. Now we have live sessions, and these live classes happen, 2 times in a month. Okay, we're trying to also be very, very flexible because again, a lot of us here, we have kids, we're working, we're probably studying, trying to, chase our, higher degrees, higher diplomas. So, we made it very flexible. These live classes happen 2 Saturdays in a month, and they are always recorded. So if for any reason at all, you miss a live session, you have access to the recording. Okay. Now, outside of the live session, you also have Watch Me Do It videos, pre-recorded videos that are released to you every single week. Now it's called self-paced because you are able to choose when to watch it. Okay, you can just say, you know what, I'm on my way to work, I'm in the train, let me just plug in and listen and watch anytime. All right. So again, because of flexibility, so that it's, adapts to your current lifestyle, you're able to watch it at any time. And all of these videos, while you're watching them, and then you have questions, you can join what we call a drop-in session that happens 2 times in a week. Every single week, you have 2 drop-in sessions. All right. One on Wednesdays and one on Saturdays when you don't have a live class. So you're studying, you're watching this video, you don't understand something. Now, it's not like we're just going to leave you on your own, right? You can always come back to a drop-in session and say, Ifeoma, please, I was trying to do this, I was trying to work on my, my process map. I was trying to use draw.io. I don't really know how you did it, right? I'm a bit confused. Can you please show me? Or can I share my screen so I show you the problem I'm having? Now you get that guidance, and Ifeoma is able to tell you, okay, you see that button at the top, you want to click on that, you want to do this. Now she's able to provide that guidance to you. And these sessions happen 2 times every week. And the session is always recorded again. So I've mentioned 3 things: live classes, self-paced learning, as well as drop-in sessions. So you can rest assured that throughout the entirety of the training, you have someone like Ifeoma holding your hand. Personalized training. Now, the training timeline is 8 months. You have 6 months learning in class with us, and then 2 months of internship with our partners. So because of you, all right, because of you, we made sure to partner with an organization in the UK so that once you're done training with us for 6 months, you are moved into that organization for your internship, 2 months of internship. You're not paying any extra cost. Okay. Now let's move on. There are different careers that you can start upon completion of this program. Now, whether you want to go into project management, you want to go into data analytics, you can do that, right? If you're okay, if you're also looking to stay in the business analysis sphere, these are just some of the career paths you can get into. You can become a process automation analyst. You can become a business architect. You can become a process improvement analyst. You can become a business process analyst, a business systems analyst, product reliability engineer, and so on and so forth. So there's so many of them. All right. So many careers that you can get into upon completion of this program. Now, you must also learn how to build a portfolio. Very important. Now, Tonga, I see your hand up. If you have a question for me, not to worry, just put it in the chat. I will get to it shortly. Okay. So you must also learn how to build a portfolio to showcase your skills. Now, I remember I mentioned that you get to work on projects while you're with us. Now, those projects are what you house in your portfolio. Shortly, I'm going to be showing you one of our students' portfolio, but just remember that every single thing is linked on this slide. So make sure to fill the attendance form in order for you to be able to go over them, thoroughly. Now, let's switch gears a little bit for my project managers in the house. Okay, if I have project managers in the house, I want you to say yeah in the chat. My project managers in the house, let's talk about what we do. Let's forget about people like Ifeoma. Let's talk about what we do. Now, you see, people like us are the reason projects don't fail. And I'm going to tell you this. I'll tell you this for a fact. Every single day, you see there are projects all around the world that are failing, right? Things are not going as planned, budgets are ballooning. Okay, your project was awarded $1 million, right? And before you know it, you are spending more than $1 million on that project. It happens. All right, this is life, but I want you to also imagine that you are that one person, all right, who knows how to bring alignment. You can align the team. You can bring the team together. You can bring that clarity that the team needs and also delivery. So you're making sure that your team, they're delivering their projects within the three most important parameters of project management, which is within the timeline of that project. Every single project has a timeline. It could be 6 months, it could be 8 months, it could be 12 months. Now you are the one person that can make sure that this team actually delivers this project within that timeline. All right. This team actually delivers that project within the budget. Every project has a budget. Okay. Now, if you're still listening to me, I don't think I'm seeing responses in the chat. Am I speaking to my? Oh, I see Omar. Omar says, yeah. Tonga, go ahead to type your question. All right. So once I'm done, I will get right to it. Just go ahead to put it in the chat for me. Okay. I see Phil. Phil says he just joined. Please, can you do a little recap? Make sure to fill the attendance form that my colleague just dropped. You'll get a recording of this session. All right. So in case you're just joining, you're able to get that recording. Make sure to fill that attendance form. Now, I was saying that just imagine that you're the person that can make sure that your team delivers that project on time. They deliver that project within the budget of the project and also within the scope. And when I talk about the scope, I'm talking about the boundaries of work of that project, meaning a lot of us, you hear things like what I ordered versus what I got. I ordered this, but I got that. Now you want to make sure that your team is delivering what was ordered. So when the customer says, this is what I ordered and this is what I got, it looks the exact same way. Now that's the scope. So imagine that you are that person. Of course, organizations will be looking for you. You are not even the one that will be looking for organizations. Organizations will be looking for you. Now, the problem is there are people that are project managers, but they only know traditional project management. These very rigid steps, these very long plans, and they're struggling because the world is changing. And when the world is changing, your project will change. Things will change in your project. All right. So how do you manage those changes? Now, people who follow the traditional project management route, they struggle. All right. They can't do anything. You see, one very typical example of agile project management I love to use is WhatsApp. Everybody on here uses WhatsApp. Now, you agree with me that some days you just wake up in the morning, you open your WhatsApp, you pick up your phone, and you see a new feature. And you're like, when did they release this one? Now, that's the power of being agile. Okay. WhatsApp says, you know what? AI is trending right now. Let's do Meta AI. And then you open your phone and at the top there, you see, you can search anything on Meta AI. So WhatsApp has its own AI. All right. Because they see that it looks like everybody likes AI now. Let's try to incorporate it. Okay. Now, if they were following the traditional project management routes, that would not have been possible. That's an example of making sure that you stay agile. Now, agile gives you a framework that thrives in uncertainty. Even if you don't know what is going to happen next month or 2 months from now, you have a framework that is going to help you stay grounded. All right. You are learning how you can lead stand-ups. You're learning how you can prioritize backlogs. You're learning how you can deliver in small, powerful increments. So, when people like Ifoma come in and say, oh, this is the problem with your business. Your business, this process is not working. This thing is not this. This one is not that. And then they identify a better process. And sometimes it's a project. So imagine if Ifoma had come in and said, oh, for Cafe de Sucre, I think what will help us is if we build a mobile application. All right. And customers can place that order on the mobile application and we just give them their order instantly. Now, that mobile application is an example of a project. Who is going to execute that project, please? Of course, people like ourselves. My project managers on the call, we're the ones that would be in charge of executing, that project. Now, you're not just managing tasks. People think that project management is just to manage tasks. We are not managing tasks. You are making sure that you're delivering value continuously, throughout the duration of that project. Again, good news, you don't need prior tech experience. I'll say that again. You don't need prior tech experience. Whether you want to go for business analysis or you want to go for project management, you don't need to have any prior tech experience. What you need is the interest. Are you interested in learning this? If you are, put a yes in the chat, and that's all you need. all right? And then you move to the next step. So people like yourself, people who are beginners, just like yourself, are the people we had in mind when we were coming up with this particular program, the Agile Project Management Program. This is the simplest program we have here at Analytics. Anybody can do it. All right. So you're going to learn all these different things, important things that you need to know from the basics. So we take it from scratch for you. We hold your hand every step of the way. Now, if you're also looking to take a professional certification much later, your PSM, your Prince 2, PSM 1 and 2, CSM, PMP, whatever professional certification you're looking to take, this program helps to prepare you for that certification. So everything that you can think of about project management, how can you use Jira? How can you use Trello? How can you use Draw.io? How can you use Confluence? You're learning all of that in this training. The learning timeline is the same, 8 months. You have 6 months learning in class and then 2 months of internship. And then the learning structure is also the same. So live classes, self-paced videos, as well as, drop-in sessions too. Now, there are also different careers that you can start upon completing the project management program. You can become a Scrum Master, a Scrum Team Facilitator, a Project Coordinator, a Lean Project Manager, a Technical Scrum Master, and so much more. You can even become an Agile Coach. There's so many different careers you can dive into upon completion of this program. Again, you must build a portfolio to showcase your skills. Now, I'm just going to show you a sneak peek of this particular portfolio on my screen right now. Okay, again, remember to fill the attendance form so you can see it. Now, this is the portfolio of one of our students here at Analytics. Her name is also Elizabeth. Anybody that is named Elizabeth is destined for great things. Okay, now this is what our portfolio looks like. Now, I want you to bear in mind that Elizabeth is still with us. She has not even completed the program yet. And this is just a snippet of all the projects that she has gotten to work on while she's been with us. Like I said, every single thing you are learning here at Analytics, you learn with projects. We don't come to you and say, come to class and let's read a textbook together. You actually get projects that you are able to work on, hands-on projects, and gain that hands-on experience that you need. No organization is going to hire you if you don't have experience. I'm telling you now. All right. And how do you hack that? As a beginner, how are you able to hack that? Register for a program that offers you that project-based learning. All right. And then you are able to work on projects and put them in your portfolio. So when Elizabeth says to any recruiter that I have 5 years of experience as a project manager, they say, fantastic. Can you walk us through some of the projects you have, worked on in those 5 years? She has a portfolio to back her up. And all of these different projects are linked on the portfolio. You see the details. Oh, this project had an approved budget of, $1.8 million. This was what I did. This was what I did. This was how I, drafted the budget. Every single thing is there. So recruiters are able to see, even before they hire her, they're able to see that she knows her onions. She knows exactly what it is that she's doing. Now, let's not waste too much time. Just make sure to fill the attendance form so you can have access to all these portfolios I'm showing you, and you can take a look at them yourself. All right. Now, if you are still stuck, okay, there's something I want us to do. It's going to take us 2 minutes. If you are still stuck right now, you don't know, should I go for project management? Should I go for business analysis? I don't know which one to do. What I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to put a link in the chat right now. There's a very short quiz that you can take. All I need you to do right now is click on that link, open it up, in a separate tab, and then take that quiz very, very quickly. So, should I go for business analysis or should I go for project management? All right. Take that quiz very quickly. Now, Chris says, I realize that in the UK, recruiters of project management managers are interested in employees who have knowledge of Prince 2. Now, just like I explained, if Prince 2 is something you're interested in, our program prepares you for that. All right. So I mentioned that earlier. If you're interested in taking the Prince 2 certification or your PMP, whatever it is, the project management program prepares you for that. All right. So just click on that link I just put in the chat. It's going to take you less than 2 minutes, and take the quiz, very, very short quiz. And then it will show you the right path if you're still confused. Even if you're not confused, just for the fun of it, click on the link, take the quiz so that you know that you are on the right path. You are where you need to be. All right. Now let's move on. What is the strategy that would land you a job in 2025? The first thing that you want to do is you want to learn. Basically, you want to identify the program you want, the career path you want to get into. whether it is agile project management or it is business analysis. Now pick one and focus on it. So Chiwendu, all right, pick one. I know you said you wanted to do both, but pick one and focus on it. You need laser focus. Again, let's lock in. The year is about to end. Let's make sure that we're locking in. The next thing you want to do is you want a package. And I'm going to explain this, much more later. Your CV revamp, you have mentorship, you have someone to prep you for interviews. Your CV is very well packaged. It looks beautiful. Your LinkedIn profile looks beautiful as well. And next, you apply to jobs like a machine. You're applying. You're doing a numbers game. You're applying to jobs, and that's how you're able to get a job. All right, we'll talk more on this later. It always seems impossible until it is done. There's some people that are looking at me and saying, Elizabeth has just been speaking. I've been a nurse. I've been a nurse for the past 10 years. I'm not sure I can do project management. I'm not sure I can do business analysis. Now, I'm here to tell you that there are people just like yourself, that have been able to do it. Let's take a look at the story of Esther. That sounded like something out of the Bible, but let's take a look at the story of Esther. Now, Esther had no tech background. All right, Esther used to be in Nigeria and then she relocated to the UK. No tech background whatsoever. And while she was in the UK, she worked as a carer, support work. She was doing that. That's the story of a lot of us on here. But she was working as a carer, but Esther knew that she wanted better for herself. Esther knew that, what? I can't keep doing this. I can't keep working like this. I want better for myself. So what did she do? The first thing she did was to learn. Esther joined the Agile Project Management Program in April 2025. Remember, I said she's not done. Okay. Remember the timeline for the program: 6 months of training, 2 months of internship. So that's 8 months. It's not been 8 months since April yet. Esther joined in 2020 in April, and then the next thing she did, of course, we packaged that CV for her. We revamped her CV. She joined all the mentorship sessions. I personally prepped her for multiple interviews. Now, that's another thing we do. Even if you have 20 interviews, we will prep you 20 times. It's not a problem. Now, I prepped her for multiple interviews. Esther would keep applying to jobs. And when she gets an interview, she comes and she says, Elizabeth, I have an interview. Put it on my calendar. We have a session. I prep her for that interview. Now, what happened next? Of course, she was applying to jobs. Now, another thing that you get here at Analytics is you have access to exclusive jobs. We have exclusive jobs. We pay a lot of money for them every month. You don't have to pay for it. So we pay, and when we get these jobs, jobs that offer sponsorship, remote jobs that you will not just find on LinkedIn, we pay for them, we get them, and then we send them to you every week. Now, Esther was applying to a lot of jobs. She didn't apply to just one job. She applied to a lot of jobs, from the 10 Analytics, job board. And what happened? In July, on the 1st of July, 2025, I got a message from Esther. She got a job, with the civil service in the UK, working a hybrid schedule. So she was working 3 days in the office, 2 days from home. She got this job 4 months into the program, not even after the program, 4 months in. All right, let's talk about, Judith as well, for the business analyst on here. Judith was also a carer, also in the UK, and, she was working as a carer while she was studying. Now, Judith actually joined the 10 Analytics Business Analysis Program way back 2024. I had to dig deep to find, because I find Judith's story very, very inspirational. Okay, she joined in March 2024. We did the same thing we did for Esther, prepped her for interviews, provided her with jobs to apply to. And she also got a job, in July of 2024. She landed a job as a business analyst in the US, working remotely from the UK. Now, do you understand that? She's in the UK, she lives in the UK, but she landed a job with an organization in the US and she works from home. Now, our story is quite different from that of Esther. Esther, does a hybrid job, 3 days at the office, 2 days from home. But Judith is fully remote. Now, of course, I'm looking at these people. I put their pictures here for a reason. They have one head. They're just like us. All right, if Esther could do it, if Judith can do it, why can't you? That's the question I want you to ask yourself. All right. Now, this is just doubling down on Esther's, this was the message. You can see the epistle that Esther sent when she got the job. All right. Talking about how, the interview prep and all of that. Again, just make sure to fill the form, the attendance form, and you'll get access to all of this and you can take a look at it. Now, I can spend 5 hours talking about success stories. I don't want to do that. Everything is linked on the slide, so once you get the slide, make sure to go over it. Now, let's get to the crux of the matter. How do you, stand out in the job market? Okay, yes, you're a business analyst. Yes, you're a project manager, but yeah, 20 other people are business analysts. 50 other people are project managers, and you're applying for the same job. How do you stand out? What is that thing that would make the recruiter say, Chiwendu is the one I want for this job? All right. Or Tonga is the person that is fit for this job. What is that thing? Here at Analytics, we have a very simple, formula. We call it the job offer formula. It's simple math. T plus E. Your T stands for technical skills, while your E stands for employability skills. Now, all the wonderful things I did, process mapping, Jira, Trello, Draw.io, those are technical skills. That's only 50% of what you need to land a job. That's not enough. All right. The other 50% is your employability skills. Now, what are these employability skills? We have 8 employability services that we offer here at Analytics. The first one is revamping your CV. Now we're going to revamp your CV for you to make sure that it is ATS friendly. So when you apply to jobs, the ATS is not flinging out your CV from the door. You won't even know. A lot of us apply to jobs. You don't get a call back. You don't even, get any email from the recruiter or anything. That's because a human being did not even see your CV. Immediately you applied. That minute, once you clicked on apply, the ATS flung it out, right? So how do you make sure that your CV is ATS friendly? It can scale past the applicant tracking system and get to the desk of a recruiter who will work on your CV for you. Next is LinkedIn optimization sessions. Now we have sessions where we teach you how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile in order to land a job. Now, personally, I don't remember the last time I applied to any job at all. I got my jobs on LinkedIn. I'm just minding my business. I just get a message. I open it. And I see someone telling me they would like to have a conversation with me. Now, that's also the story of a lot of our participants here at Analytics. You're minding your business. You're going about your daily activities. You get a message on LinkedIn. And someone is like, I just saw your profile. I'm really impressed. Do you mind? We have an opening in our organization. I don't know if you're available. Would you be available to speak to us? Let's have an interview. Just like that. You didn't apply to the job. Now, how do you strategically position yourself on LinkedIn for that as well? Next, we take a look at, navigating the job market. Now, this is where we have, sessions, people like the founder of Analytics, Ateza Suleiman, the CEO of Analytics, they come back to the classroom and they speak to you. Now, these are people that have, over a decade of experience, especially for people that are just relocating to a new terrain. You just moved to the UK, or you're planning to, you just moved to the US, you just moved to Canada. You need advice from people that are there, people that have done what you are trying to do, people that did it like 10 years ago. They have all of this experience that they can share with you. How can you navigate the job market? Then we also bring people like yourself that have taken the training. Okay. People like Esther will come back and tell you, this is what I did, that I got a job so fast. This is what I did. Please do this as well. People like Judith will come to me and say, this was the mistake I made initially. Don't make this mistake. So you're able to learn from them. You have all the skills that you need. So when it's time for you to get into the job market, you're also able to hit the ground running. Next is interview preps. All right. When it's time, once you have interviews, in fact, that's why we are here. Just go ahead and book a one-on-one interview preparatory session. We will prep you for that interview. Okay, so we have an interview simulation for you. We ask you for the job description, the name of the company. We do extensive research and we come back and tell you, okay, Tonga, these are the kind of questions that you would get, likely questions. Now, if they ask you this question, this is how you should answer. This is what you should say. Now, what that does is once you're going into the actual interview, your confidence is boosted. All right, you already have at least, answers to 50% of the questions that they will ask you there. Okay, next is job reference letter. Should you need a job reference or recommendation letter once you land a job, we're able to provide that to you as well. Analytics, as well as our partner company in the UK. Next, we have on-the-job support. So you land a job, the first month, you're like this. You don't know what to do. Hey, I don't know. They gave you a task. You don't really know, how to go about that specific task. You can come back to Analytics, book a one-on-one session with us, and we provide guidance. Now, we don't do the task for you, but we'll teach you and guide you on how you can execute that particular task. Next, we have weekly mentorship sessions. Like the name implies, you need mentorship. You need a mentor. Come on, every one of us on this call. We need mentors. Now, every single week you have a mentorship session. You get to learn different things. We bring, recruiters from top global companies to come and speak to you as well and just mentor you, get you in the right headspace. And finally, last but not the least, Upwork optimization sessions. So for my people on this call that are interested in freelancing, getting contract jobs, the same way we're teaching you how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, we'll also teach you how you can optimize your Upwork as well. Now, that's not all. All right. You also have, this is just an example, a snapshot of our job tracker. I mentioned earlier, we go ahead to, scrape for jobs, send you jobs that you can apply to. Now we're going to send it to you, all the details you need, the job title, the company, the job location, whether it's in the UK, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Canada, if the job offers sponsorship or not, and also the link to the job. So we're sending you all of this, and all you have to do is read through, pick the one you like and apply to it. And then you also have access to your own personalized AI assistant. Now here at Analytics, we have our AI assistant. It's called Oluko. Oluko in Yoruba means teacher. Okay. So outside of ChatGPT, that's something that everybody can access. You have VIP access. You're the 1% of the 1% that gets access to our own specialized training AI assistant that helps you. So you can even, this AI assistant can even help to prep you for interviews as well. When you land an interview or you're learning something you don't understand, you can simply ask Oluko. Now, all of this that I mentioned, of course, is if you join our next cohort. All right. Now let's go ahead. And, more success stories. Let's not waste more time. Look at Lois. Lois was, an accountant. She did not have any experience in tech. She joined the business analysis training and she landed the job as a project manager in the UK. Soft work. A lot of people just like that. Ngozi, Bukola, Ololade. Once you get the slides, you can go over them yourself. All right. We also have people that are in Nigeria. I said, I don't want to relocate. They're in Nigeria and they're landing jobs with organizations in the US or in the UK, and they're working remotely. So I'm here to tell you, if these people can do it, why can't you? All right. So now let's just move on. There's so many testimonials, so many success stories that you can take a look at. Look at people reaching out to us and sharing their success. All right. Now, this is what a lot of us on this call has been waiting for. Let me check how many people are left because this is special. Okay. I have good news for us. It's not for everybody. So the people that have gone, they have missed out on this. Now, I want you to pay attention. If every single thing I said, I've been speaking about business analysis, project management, this is something that interests you. You want to be the next Esther. You want to be the next Judith. All right. We have a new cohort starting on the 4th of October. Registration is ongoing. Now, what do you need to do? Whether it is business analysis you're interested in, or it is agile project management you're interested in, the pricing of the program is $1,000. However, wait a minute, I come bearing good news. We do have a discount currently running. A 25% discount currently running that ends on the 26th of, September. So instead of $1,000, if you are part of 20 people, I just need 20 people from this session right now, just 20. Part of the next 20 people to register, you're listening to the sound of my voice and you want to register. You can just put in yes in the chat, you get the link and you're able to register right here on this call. But if you're part of the next 20 people to register, you, instead of paying $1,000, you get to pay $750. And that's not all. You're able to split it for as many as 5 times. So you don't have to pay all at once. There's an instrumental plan also available to you. Now, this 25% discount ends on the 26th. Now, the fact that it ends on the 26th does not mean it's going to wait till the 26th. For example, I have more than 20 people on this call. If I get 20 people right now that, go ahead to make payments for these programs, it's no longer 25% off. So it doesn't mean it will wait for you. So the best thing you can do is grab your copy right now. Now, let me walk you through what that looks like. How do you go ahead and make payments? My colleagues are dropping the link, to the payment gateway right now, to the website right now, in order for you to register. Now, once you click on that link that they dropped in the chat, this is exactly what you will see. Okay, you are able to see the different programs that we offer. So whether you are going for business analysis or agile project management, you just want to identify the program you're interested in. Let's use business analysis, for example. Once you identify business analysis and you like to start, with the business analysis program, you click on buy now. Now it opens up the course description, every single thing you need to know about this program. All right. The minimum number of projects you get to work on, 8 projects, at least 8 projects that you get to work on, while you're here with us. And then you're able to just see the curriculum, all the things that you'll be taught. You see your instructor, and then you just want to scroll down to the bottom and click on enroll now, right here at the bottom. And once you click on enroll now, you'll be prompted to create a free account. It's going to take you less than 1 minute. We just need your full name, your phone number, and your email address. Less than 1 minute. Now, once you create your free account, you're able to confirm your enrollment. Now, if October is too busy for you and you feel like, oh my God, I have a very busy schedule in October, I might not be able to join the October class. You can join the November class. All right. You just have to select when you want to start here. So whether you want to start in October or you want to start in November, the choice is yours. Now you have the flexible payment options. So we have a geolocation tag on this website, meaning wherever it is in the world you're joining us from, once you click on this link, you see it in your local currency. So if you're in the UK, you see the pricing in pounds, just like this. If you're in the US, you see it in US dollars. If you're in Canada, you see it in Canadian dollars. If you're in Nigeria, you see it in Naira. So you don't have to worry about converting your money. All right. Now in pounds, 1,000 US dollars is 820 pounds. That's the actual price of the program. However, for the next 20 people that can, from this particular session that go ahead to register, instead of 820 pounds, you get to pay 615 pounds. So you're saving 205 pounds. 205 pounds is a lot of money. If you have an opportunity to save 205 pounds, take it. All right. So you're able to save 205 pounds, and then you're able to split your payments for as many as 5 times. So you can say, I heard about this discount. I was in a session with Elizabeth. I heard about this discount. I don't have 615 pounds right now. I have 123 pounds, and I would like to start my class in October. And just like that, you're in. So you just need, the minimum is 123 pounds. In Naira, that's about 240,000 Naira. In US dollars, that's about 150 US dollars. That's the minimum, and you're in. So you don't need to have the entire, payment. Oh my God, I don't have 615 pounds. You don't need that. You can pay, you can pay in tranches. Now, for people who are paying once or twice, all right, we have an extra discount for you. So instead of 615 pounds, you get to pay 585 pounds. If you want to pay all at once, or you want to pay 2 times, okay, you pay 585 pounds. So that's about 700 US dollars. So you get to save 300 US dollars. But if you want to pay 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times, just select that, and then you'll be paying 615 pounds. So once you select that, the next thing you want to do is apply discounts. Go ahead and confirm all your information on this screen. It's going to apply the discounts for you. You can see it here already discounted, 123 pounds. Now, what you just said is, you know what, I'm committing to pay 123 pounds. I'm paying right now tonight. And then, I'll pay from now till January. And I'll be paying 123 pounds while I'm in the program. Very possible that you land a job and your first salary even offsets the entire, amount of money that you've paid for the program. Now, once you confirm your information on the screen, you go ahead to input, put in your card, and you're good to go. Just like that, you are in. Okay. So I have one more bonus. One more thing that I'd like to share with you. Now, for people who also go ahead to make their first installment within the next 24 hours. 24 hours is long. 24 hours is long. If you go ahead and make your first installment, within a few hours after this particular session, okay, you get a second bonus. Now you get access to over 250 guided projects. Now this is not for everyone. For the 1% of the 1% that wants to work on more projects, you want to build your portfolio, you want to get more experience, you get access to over 250 guided projects to work on. Guided projects meaning you actually get people guiding you through how you can work on this project so that you can build your portfolio. Again, just for people who are able to make their first installment within a few hours, okay? Not for everybody at all. Now, let me take a look at the chat. I want to see if you have questions for me, so I can take your questions before we round up this session. So I already took Christopher's question. Omoyemi says, does 10 Analytics give certificates after the program, and is the certificate acceptable to employers? 100% yes, Omoyemi. So at the end of the program, you get a certificate of completion, and 10 Analytics is currently accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. Now, what that means is that certificate you're getting is globally recognized. All right. Let's see if I have more questions. iPhone says at the 5 installment monthly. Yes, it is monthly. So you're saying, you know what? Today is the 24th of September. I'm making the payments right now by October month end. I'm already in the program, by the way. I've already started working on 2 projects, 1 or 2 projects. I'm making my next payment ending of October, ending of November, ending of December, ending of January. Okay, so it's monthly. Let's see more questions. Chiwendu says, thank you. You're welcome, Chiwendu. Any professional exam for BA? Yes, you have your CBAP. All right, there are a lot of professional examinations that you can take, and our BA program also helps to prepare you for that certification as well. So if you're looking to take any professional examination, our program will prepare you for that. All right. So Tonga, I know Tonga had a question for me, but I can't see it in the chat. Let me scroll. I'm not sure Tonga put his question in the chat. All right. Now, if you'd like to have, okay, just to clarify, will the internship be held physically in the UK, or will there be a remote option as well? Fantastic question. Tonga, it is 100% remote. A lot of us on here were trying to get remote jobs. So this internship actually prepares you for your remote job. So you don't have to be there physically. So you can, get the internship from wherever it is you are in the world, and you're working remotely. Okay. Okay. I don't see any more questions. Let me see. Sylvester says, did you just say you're also in the program? Yes, I am. All right. Now, if you'd like to have, like further insights, maybe you want to have a one-on-one session with myself or any of my colleagues, you want to speak to a professional, what I'll just advise you to do, go ahead to book your slots. Now, you can say, I don't know which one to go for, business analysis or project management. Secure your slots first. Then, just indicate that you'd like to speak to a professional. All right. Maybe you'd like to have a one-on-one with myself or any one of my colleagues. Now, you can have that one-on-one, get the clarity that you need. And if, for example, you register for the business analysis program, and then when you get the one-on-one, you're like, oh, I think I prefer project management. We're able to switch you at no extra cost. All right. So the important thing is be among the next 20 people to register tonight. That's the important thing. If you miss it, well, I don't need to say too much. Okay, let's see. Any more questions? Thank you, Tonga. Sylvester says, wow, you're very good. Sylvester, you can be like myself. You can be like me. Okay, I did not start like this. I started with a program like this program I'm talking to you about. That's how I started as well. All right, when I started, I didn't have any background whatsoever in tech. So you can do this as well. If you think I'm good, thank you very much. But you can also, be sitting where I'm sitting here today. So thank you so much, everybody. Again, my colleague Oluwafumike just dropped the link to secure your spots. If you want to save, except you're very rich, but if you're looking to save 205 pounds, all right, or 250 US dollars, you're looking to save that much, and you're also looking to split your payments instrumentally, click on that link right now and go ahead to secure your spot. Thank you so much. I hope to see you all in class in October. I'll look out for you. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one with me as well, just make sure to secure your spot and indicate, and then we can have a session. All right. Like I said, the attendance form, there are so many things linked on this slide that you can get access to. So many resources. Okay. So just make sure, fill the attendance form, and we'll be sure to send the slides across to you. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with me to the end of the session. I hope to see you in class on the 4th of October. Enjoy the rest of your day.